Hey guys, welcome to today's security privacy video from Digital Wasteland. Today I'm going to take a look at another series. Yesterday we worked on the desktop, understanding the desktop environment. Today we're going to look at the command line, because there are some things in the command line that it is really good if you know. You don't have to use the command line, but in all honesty, most people, even those who never want to see it, become curious about it and want to learn about it. So we're going to do a tutorial on that. And there are things that you can do in the command line that you cannot do otherwise. And occasionally, as you know, you've run into problems with Windows that make you have to reinstall it. In Linux, you can avoid that simply by putting in a few commands and you can fix a problem. As an example, I had an image I was downloading yesterday from one of my websites, and something happened during the download and the image file became corrupted and the download failed. Well, that happens. Well, from the desktop, using the file manager from the desktop, I couldn't delete it. But so I just dropped down the terminal and I deleted it there, because you can have administrative privileges down there, and with administrative privileges you can do anything you need to do. Now, Linux runs completely differently than Windows. There is no registry. Everything is essentially a file, but we won't get into that in today's video. Today we're just going to take a quick and basic look at the terminal itself so that you can get an idea of how this is going to go. You're going to see at the bottom here, I'm going to periodically pause the recording just to save me some editing time as we're doing things. Okay, so now here we go. I'm going to open up a terminal, which for me is Command T. It's also Alt Control T will bring up your terminal screen for you. And this looks very much similar to a DOS prompt, but DOS was a very different animal. This is actually something called bash. This is a bash shell in which you can control the system with it. Now, I have fancied this up quite a bit. This is not normally what your command line will look like out of the box, but it's fun to do. It's fun to configure things and make things look a lot cooler. This gives me a whole lot of information on my system. As an example, I've been up, it was 22 minutes ago when I did a reboot, and I was doing a little bit of work and seeing if I could solve a few things that I created, and I did so, and that's why for the reboot. Now, if you look down here, we discussed this in the desktop video. If you look down here at my package update manager, I have an update available there. And you can see it's an unusual one. Information about distribution releases. Now, I could click install updates here, but we're going to go down here to the command line and do it instead, just so you get an idea. And the command line is sudo, which is super user do. As you will remember, to install packages, you have to do so as an administrator. And sudo gives you administrative powers. Some people say sudo because it's super user do, but I pronounce the word as it is spelled, which is sudo. apt is the call to the piece of software that handles the packages in Linux Mint. This will vary from distribution to distribution. Now, you're supposed to put in the word get. You don't have to. I don't always do that. And then the word update. Click. It's going to ask me for my password, which I will give it. And now you will see it is going into the process of updating. Now, I put no switches on this, so it's actually going to ask for permission to update coming along here. Okay. Oh, no, actually it didn't. Isn't that interesting? Let's do the upgrade command here and see what we get as well. There we go. It updated it didn't report this particular upgrade here, so I had to do it a slightly different way. It's asking me if I have no issue with doing that, and now it's going to install that package that is waiting up on the desktop to do as well, and then make changes to the database. Now, this is exactly the same thing that happens on the desktop. Why would you want to do this? Well, there are going to be times when you may find a piece of software that you really like and really want to install, but you can't find it in your software manager. So you go to the website and you copy and paste the command line that is on the website to install it. You come down here and you do this, and this is basically what you will get. Very, very simple. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to clear the screen, so I'm just going to type in the word clear, and that gets rid of all the junk on your screen, which is really, really nice. Now the only other thing we're going to cover today in this thing is a few basic commands, right? First command we're going to look at is pwd, which is Personal Working Directory. Right? And you can see here, as I'll bring my mouse up, I'm in the home directory and my name. Now, if this was a multi-user computer, the home directory would have other people's names in it as well, but I wouldn't see them because I would not have privileges to use them. So as an example, if you've got members of your family and you want them to have different desktops, they're each going to have their own directory in the home environment. Right? Now I can list what is in the directory with the command ls, and it shows everything that is in the directory. And this you'll find is very, very similar to the desktop. The things in blue in this particular case, because of the way I have the terminal set up, are all the different directories that are there for you to take a look at. So now from here, we're in the directory, we can actually go and look in these directories. Now some of these don't contain a whole lot of anything, but as an example, let's change directory and we will go into Dropbox. So CD Dropbox will take you into the Dropbox directory. And as you can see, the way things are set up for me, it tells me I'm in Dropbox. Okay? Now, some of these directories are empty. The music directory, as an example, is empty. And some of these are also misplaced directories that programs that don't follow the rules tend to want to put things. Right, like Sherlock is actually, it's a program that I have never been able to get to work properly. I've got to take it off at some point in time. But it should have actually placed that somewhere else, not in this directory. But that's just the way it goes. So while I'm in here, I can, once again, I can list the contents of this directory. Right? And you can see this is the things that are in my Dropbox that are synchronized with the desktop. Now, there's a lot more in my Dropbox account than just this, but I don't keep it synchronized with the desktop because it's almost 500 gigabytes of content. Now, if I want to go back to the last directory, I cd again, space, and 2 dots, takes me back to where I was before. Right? And you can go once again and see all the things that are in before. Now, sorry, I cheated here a little bit. It should have given you the ls command, which would give you that. I have what are called aliases, in which I can get more information out than what the command looks as if it is stating. Now, the one that you just saw a moment ago with all those dot files in it, as they are referred to, comes from doing an ls-a command, which is give me a list of the directory and everything that is in it. You know, it does that. But I have an alias for LA, list all. Right? Same, I have an alias for with LL, which is ls minus all, and make it a long listing. And you can see the mess that I get this way. Right? Now, we're not going to go into great detail in this particular video as to what all this means. We will in subsequent videos, because right now you don't really need to know it. And then again, I clear the screen, but I set up an alias for CLR, which clears the screen. In actuality, what I did was I took several things that were DOS commands, and like CLR was a DOS command, and I shortened it up. Aliases are wonderful because they can help you to do those kinds of things. So anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. We just wanted to touch on this. In the next video, we'll go into more detail on how to use the command line, because if you're going to switch to Linux, and I really do hope you do, because it means a big deal for your privacy, especially, and therefore your security. You're going to find that there are things you're going to want to know and learn, and it's just easier if I tell you, since you're on the channel anyway. Thanks for watching, guys. Now, if you look below, we have a new Facebook group, which I'd love to have you come and join. The information is down there. And we've also hooked up to a Patreon account. And the reason that we're doing that is for us to continue to bring you more and more of this content, because I know you're going to love it. There are things that we need to do, and of course, anything in the wild Costs money to do. So we're going to be setting up the Patreon account for members. We'll get special privileges. And one of those special privileges is going to be coming up in the very near future for any of the Patreons, a weekly live stream of questions and answers that you can come and participate in. And I know you guys will absolutely love that. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Click the notification bell, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic day.